Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who wonders if his girlfriend deserves a second chance after finding her with another guy. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. So, it has been tough recently due to the age difference. She, 24, parties, makes a mess, doesn't clean it up. I, 34, get mad, she makes excuses. I get madder, doesn't want me to be dad, but I don't like when she parties it up, doesn't clean it up, doesn't look after her dog, etc. I admit to getting angry and yelling, yes, but only after things get really disgustingly messy. She has taken a break a bit and has been staying with friends. She's now at our place again with friends watching movies. We've had a discussion about it, and she's confused and trying to decide what to do. But we agreed not to see each other after I said I'd like to know where we stand. If I should be seeing others, if she is, etc. So we don't see others as the agreement. Which brings us to what just happened. When I went into the living room, she and the guy friend coworker were snuggled up and quickly distanced themselves when I went into the room. I pretended not to notice. So when this has happened in the past, girlfriend cheated, I sever all ties, then a month later as per custom, the ex-girlfriend tries to come back and I still say no. I'm prepared to do this to her as I've done with other exes. She would sort of be hosed as she has a minimum wage job along with the guy she was snuggled up with. Financially, I've made sure she doesn't take on debt and provided a largish budget for her, but she sometimes still bounces checks from her bank account, etc. I have a well-paying job and have supported my girlfriend from day one when she had serious kidney problems. Now, when I kick her out, discontinue the credit card I pay for, etc., she will have a minimum wage job, no degree, no driver's license, no decent health care. Let's hope her remaining kidney is fine, etc. She's hosed. I could work it out for once. Usually I see these things in black and white and sever all ties. This is the first major fight after 5 years. My question is, would it make sense to work it out, go to counseling? Or should I just do what I normally do? Kick to the curb, hit the gym, move on, etc. Edit. I texted her asking her to move out within a week. She agreed, so it's done. Now I'll be able to retire earlier, my bank account thanks all of you. Edit 2. Since I have a weird sense of humor, it should be noted that my previous girlfriend left me for a guy who was a great singer. After that, I took lessons for years from world-famous singers and I am now a great singer, performing in front of audiences. The cheating and heartbreak actually helps me get a good feel for a lot of songs. The latest left me for a guy who plays lead guitar in a metal band, so I guess I should learn guitar. And drums just to get my bases covered. Good for you for handling the breakup well, OP. It seems you were over the relationship even before you ended it, which is understandable. Your ex isn't mature enough to be with you. You two are at different stages in your life, so your relationship suffered. You two were more like dad and daughter than a couple. I bet she only stuck around because of the financial help you gave her and not because of love. Hope you end up finding love when you least expect it, and if you don't want love, good luck with getting good at playing guitar. Now for some comments. She's confused because she has feelings for another guy. If you think this cuddling up is the extent of it after she's been away, then you're very mistaken. The age difference is too much. It isn't gonna work out, bro. This isn't about vengeance or her being hosed. It's about your core incompatibility due to age difference. Cheating is the worst break of trust that exists. You are too nice. Grow a pair. Change the locks now before she can take something from your home that you will miss. I know you told her she had a week, but turning around is fair play. See what happens when you expect one thing and you get another? Sucks, doesn't it? Put her crap in trash bags on the doorstep. You pretended not to notice? Are you sure you're into this girl? If she depends a bit financially on you, does not respect your requests, take snuggly people home, the outlook is not good. I'd give the final ultimatum, and after the inevitable F-up, I would kick her out. If she's minimum wage, she can ask me for a zero-interest max 3 months loan, like a friend would do to a friend. But being dependent on you will not make her grow up. And she needs to grow up because the age difference says she needs to. Story 2. I'm on day 17 or something. My wife has recently been diagnosed with bipolar. Her father is and was a terrible narcissist, and that damage informs some of this. Married 17 years. I discovered by simple accident hundreds of texts between her and a number I don't recognize. She fessed up almost right away. 5 years of texts, some dirty. 4 meetups for sex at my in-laws' house. 3 times were at the beginning, so about 4.5 years ago. Then 1 more time in January. Sounds like a normal affair, right? Except for having so little sex in 5 years. That seems weird, right? It gets better. He's a monster. Narcissistic predator. He called her nothing but awful names and made her respond to them. Told her she was a piece of shit and beneath him. And she pursued him. Thousands of texts. He never responded if she contacted him. He would text something horrid. They would talk for a few days and then she would block his number. A few weeks would pass and she would unblock it. Eventually he would text something disgusting again, and so it went. She was beneath him and submitted to him and accepted every insult. In their sexual betrayal of me, she wasn't allowed to take her clothes off. She sent him naked pictures early on and he scolded her. She cried all the way to their meetups and cried all the way home. And he's nothing. Literally the lowest person I've ever met. Shitty job, trailer, ugly, weak, mean. Her friends who know about it wanted to throw up. Her therapist wanted to admit her to a hospital. 5 years, lies, betrayal. And those were 5 years of me working really hard on the relationship. Some counseling, lots of changes. We didn't have a dead bedroom, we had sex every night. She wakes me up for sex a couple times a week because she likes mornings, and we would have it every night because that's what I like. And good sex, joyful sex. If we were arguing or distant, we'd stop in the middle of sex and work it out before continuing. She wasn't taking that love and passion elsewhere. When I found out, she came clean almost immediately. She first said she was in an inappropriate relationship that was not physical. Then she added that it was physical years ago. Then added it was physical in January. She cried and begged and pleaded. But she also rejoiced. She said she felt free for the first time in years. She could escape from that dark place and come back to life. She's doing anything to make things right and begged for a chance. Day 17, and she's working very hard. Answering questions, trying to comfort me. The guilt has been hard on her. There were a few moments I was worried she would kill herself. She hurts for me and cares for me, and has done 1,000 things large and trivial to fix this and prevent anything like it in the future. She's been the best post-betrayal partner ever. But I'm hurt and I'm angry. I can't understand. She held off on advising me for Theorist 2 weeks ago and did nothing to frame or minimize her choices. But she has recently said I shouldn't try to understand. Understanding situations, making them rational, is my defense mechanism. And that this wasn't rational. She says it was like a girl cutting. It was done to feel pain. It wasn't rational, so I won't be able to understand it. And that she's free of it now. She told me that her association with her dirtbag changed significantly in the past couple months. She said she had been pulling away from her monster and he was fighting it. She was pulling away for the first serious time in 5 years because of 2 things. She got treatment and pills for her bipolar, and she stood up to her father. That made the dirtbag's power over her fall considerably. So this was just a manifestation of sickness? A disgusting 5-year depressive episode with sex and betrayal? I don't know what to think. But I'm angry and hurt. Day 18. I'm sorry you're going through this, OP. I can't start to imagine the kind of pain, betrayal, confusion, and hurt you must be feeling right now. To me, it all comes down to this. Is she really over him? I mean, she claims she's free now, but is she? Have her continue therapy. Join her in a few sessions to maybe understand her better. I don't believe you can't. If it helps you cope with all this, then please, do your best to understand what she's going through. Then, you two should go for marriage counseling. You both need it for your marriage. I feel like this can still be saved after a lot of work from both of you, and since you say your wife is doing her best, then that's a good sign. Protect yourself from the psycho AP, and if you think your wife is slipping back into old habits by meeting up with him or texting him again, divorce her. Now for some comments. Wow, it's a lot to take in. Her illness doesn't excuse the betrayal. She's going to need lots of therapy to even begin to understand how she allowed and made a choice to have this affair. Do you honestly want to stick around for decades while she sorts through all this baggage? Her family history and her own personality implies this won't be wrapped up quickly. 5 years is a long time to continually betray your spouse. Think of the hundreds of choices per day that she made to cheat on you. Thousands of texts equals thousands of choices to put him and herself first. Typically in pro-repair, but I feel this one is not salvageable. Do you really believe that a 5-year relationship that he controlled only resulted in 4 instances of physical contact? She needs to be honest before you can even begin to think about the next step. It worries me that she hasn't disclosed the recent physical contact with the therapist. To me, it's massively important and a sign of relapse if they'd been working for a while in her state. I worry about her revelations in light of this. It's incredibly tempting to use this discovery by you as a springboard for her salvation, especially if she's taking new medication. But that's still the act of someone bipolar bouncing from low to high, and shaking such a long-term need and habit is a bigger, slower, quieter fight. This is a time for being humble, not empowered. It worries me greatly that she has shut you out of understanding the pain that she's endured. I've dated a girl who cut before, and I was never settled until I put the time and effort into understanding what was going on. I think it's completely unfair to suggest that understanding her infidelity at a psychological level is a defense mechanism of yours. To me, this is the most troubling aspect. It shows a lack of trust and respect to reject you on this front. The mystery will only hurt you more, and I suspect it's another way of locking everyone else out of her head where she might relapse on her own time. With or without her, I would put the time in with a therapist to really understand what happened, which will make it easier to help her avoid mistakes in the future. But if she's really committed to fixing things and making a fresh start, it's important your understanding of what happened is prioritized. It's your only chance at true acceptance in my eyes.